Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to shortsellerpowerhour.com. I'm your host, Kevin Kaufman. My business partner, Fred Weaver's not here today. We've done away with him. Brought in a better co-host, Jesse Moore from the, is it okay to say Seattle area? Or
Absolutely.
I know it's not Seattle, is it the greater Seattle area? What's the appropriate word?
Greater Puget Sound.
Greater Puget Sound. Wow, that's a mouthful to say the least. Anyways, this is Short Sale Power Hour, and Jesse's here visiting us today. Actually coming up to watch the Short Sales Uncensored class in Las Vegas, which will have occurred just a few days ago by the time you watch this video. And so we've been sharing a few ideas, and we're talking about lead generation ideas. And so I asked Jesse if he would mind sharing one or two with the Short Sale Power Hour viewers. And just, you know, we're always looking to give back, get more ideas, how to get more business. And I think Jesse's got a good one for us. So let's talk about that. And it could relate specific to short sales, or it could be something more in general. And, you know, you can take really any lead gen source and then aim it at short sales if you wish. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing about the greater Puget Sound area, or Seattle, is we're very technologically advanced.
Sure, no doubt about that.
Home to Microsoft and home to Nintendo and Amazon and just tons of tech companies. So our demographic is definitely a more advanced user.
Sure.
And so maybe some of the older, more antiquated ways of lead generating don't work quite as well.
Sure.
And so we're kind of on the bleeding edge of new things, new lead generation techniques. And so what's interesting is we're like searching Twitter, and we're using tools to search out leads on Twitter and Facebook and everything else. And one thing that I've noticed that I'd like to get your thoughts on is, do you know that if you search Twitter for the term short sale, it's never a consumer?
Yeah, no, I know that because I actually have that. I can show you my phone right now. That is in this pocket. And I will show you, the reason I know that is because I have that as a saved search in one of my Twitter or on my Twitter. So I actually have that. It's never a consumer. It's always an agent.
Right. So if you go on a TweetDeck or Hootsuite or some sort of Twitter application that allows you to search for terms, and we have a bunch. We have move to Seattle. We have short sales, and we do geo searches too, or based on where people are tweeting. And what's amazing to me, and I'm still trying to get some insight into this, is that people that talk about short sales on Twitter are never consumers. They are always realtors, and actually what it's kind of trained me to not to do is talk about short sales on Twitter. I mean, do we really? I just don't think that that's probably the venue. But
no, I would agree with that, and I'll tell you. I mean, kind of going back to something Gary Vaynerchuk talks about. Twitter truly is for listening. Most of us use Twitter for other reasons, but it's really more about a conversation and listening to people. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I'm not the Twitter expert. I'm the first to admit that, but my viewpoint around Twitter is that it's definitely misused by 95% of us, if not more. And so absolutely I think putting out short sale content on there for the consumer is it's lost at best.
Well, and actually I would say that we have to act more like a church as short sale people.
What do you mean?
So I met with it was interesting. It's not even my church, a church in our area. I just know some people there, and they contacted me and they asked, they saw what I was doing in my business to get to people and attract people to the site and everything else. So they asked me to show them Twitter and some things, and I had a kind of a cool revelation in that is that you can have a Twitter ministry.
Oh, absolutely.
You just search for divorce, or you search for depressed, or you search for whatever, and then you have pastors or whatever, just messaging those people and reaching out to those people. And I think to some degree that's what we have to do as short sale agents. Is you're not going to utilize Twitter to be like, oh hey, you want to you're going through a short sale? Let me help you. It's not going to be like that. But you could search for terms that kind of clue you into the fact that these people are headed down a path towards.
Okay, I think that's actually a really good tip there for using Twitter there. So you're saying don't look up the term short sale. Look up the things that usually lead to a short sale, things that occur before a short sale.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you want to develop a whole bunch of LinkedIn invites, then search short sale and then follow a bunch of agents and mortgage reps and crap like that. But if you want to get some consumers, that's not where they're at. Instead, let's look at the things that consumers in a short sale are facing, and maybe that's how you find them.
Dude, I think that's an awesome tip, guys. So if you didn't quite connect to that, I would suggest watching this video again. That's actually a really, really strong tip by Jesse. So Thanks a lot for sharing that.
It's just a thought.
You got anything else on your mind you want to get off your chest before we?
What else can I talk about? Geez, I have so much I want to talk about.
Well, go for it. Well, we got time for one more.
One more? All right. I think another thing that I am passionate about, and I keep trying to bar this in with you guys, and I know it varies state by state, but one of the things that we're doing is we're using trustee sales and auction to develop short sale closings.
Okay, how so?
So our team, we help buyers buy at auction at trustee sale.
Okay.
And because of that, we make sure every agent in our office is aware of that.
Okay.
And maybe some agents that aren't as, well, heck, even if you're an experienced short sale agent,
you're gonna lose some.
You're gonna lose some that go to sale, and those contracts might have buyers already in place and ready to go, and a contract set and everything, a price set. And so what we've been doing is we've been helping, we put it out there that, hey, if you have a short sale listing and we can see that it's going to foreclosure, we'll contact those agents and we'll put an investor in place who buys that property.
At auction.
At auction, saves a commission for both sides, buyer's agent and even the listing agent.
So the listing agent, even though their listing went to foreclosure, you're saving them a commission how?
We can't get the buyer's agent information without the cooperation of the listing agent.
Got it.
So if you're a listing agent and you have a listing that's going to short sale, or a short sale that's going to foreclosure, and you have a pending contract, don't just sit there. I mean, yes, we want to do everything that you teach us to do. You want to do everything you do
but there's going to be times that you can't get there.
But we know that banks don't operate on reason, or anything.
Or logic.
Or rationale. And so there are going to be some that go to auction, and you need to be prepared for that. And if you want to save your commission, then have a resource that can help you, that has a pocket full of investors that can buy that property and then pay you a commission to get the buyer contact information and put that back together.
Okay, well, one last question there. I see how that's a win-win for the buyer's agent and the listing agent. How does your team, who's representing the buyer at the auction, win?
Because they don't get to, let's say you have a pending, well, we sell homes for higher prices in the greater Puget Sound area.
Yeah, you
And
do.
so let's say that we had a pending contract at $220,000.
Okay.
Or as a short sale, and the bank says no, we want a net $220. Buyer says go pound sand.
Okay.
And so it goes to foreclosure. This is a true story, by the way. Bank sets the opening bid for $152.
Right.
Investor buys it for $174.
Okay.
Sells it to buyer for $220.
Got it.
So the buyer gets what they wanted. They got a contract price at $220. Investor bought it for $174. Pays commissions because there's enough margin there.
To all three agents?
And investor makes $20,000.
It's not a bad deal.
It's not. Of course, the bank could have had that money if they had just.
Well, hey, you know what? They could have had a lot more money, but they've, not always making the best decision for themselves.
I should probably be quiet because I know that there's banks that watch this program, and
every major lender just heard you say that.
And banks are.
Let's face it. Let's talk to them. You guys know that happens, and it's your own fault. It's their own fault. They understand there's inefficiencies. Sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes there are other things in the background,
right.
Mortgage insurance, things like that are stopping the deal from getting through. Sometimes maybe it's even the seller that's actually held up the deal. And so I'm not going to put all the blame on the banks, but let's face it, a lot of bonehead mistakes like that happen. The person who pays for the investor, but it's their system that they've set up, and all your buyers down there has gone out and they won a fair bid that happened through the trustees. So I don't see a problem with that at all.
Right.
I would think if you talk to any bank executive, they wouldn't care either, because they understand that happens. That's why they understand that short sales are going to net them usually somewhere around 80% of their BPO, and an REO is going to net them somewhere around 60% of their BPO. They're fully aware of it. It's just our job as agents to really convey that. So.
And it's really going to depend on your state and laws, and if you have a redemption period or not. I know we talked with Josh and Sarah, and they have a redemption period of 6 months, so no investors. I don't know that system But I know our system, and it's similar to Arizona's from what I understand, and we're a non-judicial state with no right of redemption. And if you are in that scenario and you have a short sale listing with a pending buyer and it's going to sale, you need to have a resource to be able to
I like it.
Save your commission.
Wow, 2 hot tips from Jesse today. I like that. So you got any websites or anything you want to plug today while we're here before I wrap it
We'll
up?
probably throw it in a comment, but picketstreet.com, 2 T's.
Picket Street with 2 T's. PicketStreet.com. All right, guys. Jesse, thanks for joining Short Sale Power Hour today. I appreciate it. We'll be back on Wednesday, guys. You know how this goes, right?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Now, here's a little secret I want you guys to know. On the other side of this wall is the state auditors. I probably shouldn't have said that, but there's auditors from the state on the other side of this wall. They're watching our videos. We're gonna clap just as loud as we normally would, and probably gonna get a really weird reaction once we turn this camera off. So
we love auditors.
I'm just warning you. Absolutely, they're just coming to check files. I'm good with them.
Yeah,
Ready?
We're above one.
1, 2, 3. Short sale power. Short sale power. Crush it. Don't crush it too loud.